as I mentioned previously, this series is going to look at push-ups on the floor and incline push-ups. So first, let's make sure that we're on the same page here. What do I mean when I say push-ups on the floor? Well, take a look at the video here. What you want to see is the body kind of moves as one piece, all the way down, all the way back up. The head and neck, the upper back, the low back, the hips, everything goes together. There's no breakdown in one part of the body, and you got to come all the way down, you got to come all the way back up. That is what we're talking about. So when I say push-ups on the floor, that's what I'm talking about. If you cannot do that, then you need to go up onto an incline surface, which I'll talk about in a minute. But forcing floor push-ups can be one of the main reasons that you're having pain in the wrists or the shoulders. Essentially, the exercise is too challenging, but you're force-feeding the movement, which is problematic. So if you cannot do the reps like the video showed, then you need to come up to an incline. So let's talk about the incline push-up. What does that look like? So take a look at this video. So the incline push-up is basically a push-up on some sort of a surface. So it could be a bench. In the video, I'm using a bar and a squat rack. You could use a Smith machine if you're at a gym. But basically the goal is to find a spot that's not horizontal. So when you're on the floor, you're horizontal, right? If you go up against the wall and do a wall push-up, you're now vertical. We want something in between there. So vertical is too easy, horizontal for most people is too difficult. We want to find the spot that makes the movement challenging, but allows you to keep your good sort of technique, your good overall posture as you do the push-up. This is where most people need to start. And they need to start there because of all the things that we're going to talk about. It's very difficult to learn how to keep the head and neck, the shoulders, the elbows, the abs tight, the hips under control, all while being on the floor. The goal is that you come up to the incline position, make it a little bit easier so you can focus on all those little pieces, and then bring that sort of new technique or that sort of revamped technique down to the floor and do your reps that way. But for the short term, you're going to want to come up to an inclined surface, kind of tighten up your technique, bring all the pieces that we're going to talk about together, and then bring them back to the floor. So what I want to show you real quick is how to set up your hands when putting them on the bar, doing the incline push-up. And this can be done with a bar and squat rack, or it can be done on a Smith machine as well. So in the middle here, you can see this is kind of a smooth part of the bar right through here. Then you get to this kind of rough part, which is called knurling. It's the stuff that kind of will rip up your hands and give you the calluses and all that. For the incline push-up though, what you want to do is right at the edge where the smooth and the knurling come together, put your thumb on either spot like this, okay? And we'll talk more about this in a subsequent video, but this position here, it sets your hands up in a good overall position. Your hands will be slightly wider than your shoulders, and that's going to be ideal, and we'll talk about why that matters later on. But start with this position. A lot of people start too close, and they unknowingly make the exercise a lot harder than it needs to be. And you definitely don't want to go on the edges here. There's a little, you can't see, this side here, there's like a little ring, another smooth part. That's too far. Okay, we'll talk about sort of hand position as far as narrow and wide. But generally speaking, thumbs here, and then we'll talk about how to set your hands up and do your push-up from there. But this is a great way to make sure you have proper hand position, which ties into both wrist, elbow, and shoulder position when you're doing your incline push-ups.